And embark on a journey where your adventures not only become unforgettable memories, but also opportunities to earn. With Passport Bros, your travel content is more than just photos and videos. It's your ticket to a fully monetizable network of like-minded adventurers. Imagine making money from your travel stories. Post videos, share your experiences, and let the world be a part of your journey. But that's not all. Connect with travelers from around the globe, join co-ed groups, and make lasting friendships, perhaps even with foreign women who share your passion for exploration. And here's the best part. Store your earnings securely in your Passport Bros wallet. No hassle, no worries. Just seamless transactions wherever your travels take you. Looking for the best local experiences? Passport Bros has got you covered. Get personalized recommendations for tour guides, rentals, and the hottest clubs in town. Did we mention the app is absolutely free to download? That's right. Your passport to a world of adventure is just a click away. And here's the cherry on top. With Passport Bros, you can make money while exploring new places. Turn your passion for travel into a source of income, right from your mobile device. So what are you waiting for? Download Passport Bros now, share your journey, connect with fellow explorers, and let the adventure begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
And we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. It is your man BMT in the building. Hope all is well with you. Got a new little setup today. We in here heavy, man. We already got 75 in the room. All right, guys. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button when you come on and enter the room. Now, we got a real good subject today to talk about. I know a lot of guys have been going to Medellin for the last few years. I got my man Austin. He's out there now. I'm going to bring him on momentarily. But a lot of guys going to Medellin. We get a lot of news coming out of Medellin lately. Now, before we get the show started, let me say this. You know, Medellin is not Colombia. All right. There's some other cities that you can visit. Very beautiful cities, San Andreas, Barranquilla, of course, Cartagena as well. But in this show, we are specifically talking about Medellin. All right, family. So we got Austin. He's going to be on in a second. But first, let me holler at everybody in the chat. We in here heavy, man. We got 79 in the room. People call it Murder Gene. Okay, I've never heard that before, but shout out to Pantene Shellis. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Mike M says Colombia is under extensive evaluation at this time. The Passport Bros, okay, I don't know about this statement here, but the Passport Bros have determined the country to be dangerous, too dangerous, and the Latinos are not as friendly as neighboring countries. Okay, we'll discuss that. We'll talk about that. Please rebook all tickets to Brazil. Shout out to all my guys out there in Brazil right now. But keep in mind that they're going to start that Brazilian visa, I believe, in April, but they somehow keep pushing it back for whatever reason. But you can do e-visa to Brazil. All right. Okay, family. Also, guys, if you haven't already downloaded the app, make sure to download the Passport Bros app. All right, make sure to download the Passport Bros app. We are available in the App Store and Google Play. So, guys, make sure to download the Passport Bros app. Link is in the description. Okay, guys. We got Tony Africa in the building. Says CC is a real vibe. I live in Kilimani. Okay, yeah, guys are traveling, man. Guys are traveling all over the world now. But like I said, we have a big population of not population, but a big market of guys from the Passport Bros community do frequent the beautiful city of Medellin. All right. Somebody said Kenya all 2024. Okay. All right. You know what? We're going to do a whole show. We actually did a show about Nigeria. I think it was about a couple of weeks ago. But we're going to start doing more shows. You know, I do shows about a lot of other cities around the world. We got Passport Bros all over the world. I'm definitely going to do a spotlight on Kenya and Dar es Salaam very soon. I always hear good things about that, about East Africa. That's very true. That is very true. Okay? Give me 1 second, family. Let me set this on up right here. All right. There we go. We're almost there. Hold on. Get this on set up before we get Austin on in here. Medellin to how to come came the ultimate. All right. Player with a passport. So how did Colombia become the ultimate standard for travel? It's simple. If you don't feel comfortable going, don't go. Shout out to my man, player with a passport. All right. On Track Man says it's never been a safe city. You know what's funny, man? I was just telling a friend of mine when I was first arrived in Colombia in 2020. Actually, it was October 2020. My first time arriving in. Yeah, it's been a while. Jesus Christ, it's been a quick 4 years. Going on 4 years, 3.5 and some change, right? But I think I was really naive at the time about how dangerous Colombia could be, or Medellin in particular, we're talking about. But I think I was a little naive. I always heard the stories, but you hear more stories when you get there, actually. And then you start recognizing, like, okay, wow, I know this guy, he got drugged last week and all this stuff like that. So I think early on, I don't think it was that bad because it was smack. When I started going to Medellin, it was smack dab in the middle of COVID. So it was different. A lot of people wasn't outside like that. The clubs wasn't open. We had a curfew, so it was a whole lot different during COVID. And I think once everything kind of opened back up, things changed a lot, or maybe went right back to the same. I don't know, but I know during COVID things were very different. There wasn't as many tourists. I mean, the streets was not crowded at all. When I returned to Medellin and when it was fully open, I had never seen it packed like that. I hadn't seen that side of Medellin before. Right, I'm walking through Provenza and I'm hearing nothing but English being spoken. Just seeing all types of expats. I was like, wow, this really, really has changed. But anybody that was in Medellin during that time of COVID, knowing how much fun we was having out there at the time. All right, somebody said I'm frozen. Let me see. I'm rolling over here where I'm at. Let me know, guys, if I'm still frozen. I think I'm still flowing. Keep in mind, Medellin is not the biggest city in Colombia. No, it is not. Okay, we got a lot of guys talking about Nairobi. We have to do a show. Anybody in Kenya, hit me on the email, man. We got to do a show about Kenya. We definitely got to do a show about Kenya. All right, so I'm still frozen. Okay, let me get out of this. All right, I'm back. Hopefully, I'm not frozen anymore. So yeah, some people say I'm frozen. Some people say I'm not, but we rolling here. We are rolling. All right. All right. Kevin Johnson, who's also a member, says, "Can I download the app on my Android phone?" Yes, you can. It's available in both the App Store and Google Play. So you definitely can download the app. Link is in the description. Let me double check and make sure it's in the description. The link is definitely in the description. All right. All right. Everybody say I'm good now. Okay. We're good. We're good. All right. But keep in mind, family, I had no major incidents besides the incident I had in Centro. And I was told not to go down there at night. And I went down there. Shout out to my man G Turner in the building. I went down to Centro, and I've said this before, to go get a guy that was out there. And he was being nicely shook down by some Venezuelans. And I went out there and I tried to get him from that situation. And some chick randomly said I was recording. I think I had my phone in my hand at the time, but of course I wasn't recording in Centro. I'm not that crazy. But she said I was recording, and some guys followed us into I want to say like a bakery or something like that. And it was like, man, it happened so fast, man. It had to be about 4 or 5 different guys. And luckily, they were trying to shake me down, basically trying to get me to give them my phone so they can give them my phone so I can, quote unquote, look at the footage or whatever. Even though I wasn't recording, I refused to give my phone up. Then they asked me some money. I was like, nah, I'm not giving no money. And like I said, I was very naive. I probably should have just broke them off some bread. But luckily, I had an Afro-Colombian that came around the corner. He was working. He was like, hey, man, this guy's a gringo. He doesn't know what's going on. He said he wasn't recording. Just let him go because he doesn't know. But it got sketchy in Central. That was the only incident I went in. And I remember the guy that I went out there for, when I looked around, he wasn't, he had vamped on me. So I was out there dolo. But other than that, that's the only problem I really had, or any issue that I had really in Medellin. And I was in Medellin for like close to almost, about a year and a half. I had no incidents, no druggings, no robberies, no motos, no nothing. Now, some would say, oh man, you're moving the right way because it's the way you move. But I would say that a lot of times I was just maybe lucky. Maybe it was the way I was dressing. I'm not sure. I damn sure stopped wearing Jordans while I was out there. I still would wear a watch. I would be pretty much anywhere and everywhere, in the barrios and stuff, at people's apartments. I just never had any issues, man. And I can't really say exactly, put my finger on. It's definitely the way you got to move cautiously. But I know in a lot of cases, a lot of guys had incidents out there, unfortunately, in Medellin, Colombia. All right. So, guys, let me go ahead and welcome my main man on the show. Hold on. Let me put him up. We got Austin Holloman in the building.
What's going on?
Hey, what's good, my brother? How you enjoying Medellin?
It's all right. It's all right. I still am sticking to my first word after traveling to 20 countries, almost 40 cities. It's a little overhyped, in my opinion. From my experiences that I've had around the world, this is overhyped. It's a beginner's spot, a warm-up, soft landing.
Okay. Now, what's the big difference between the first time you went to Medellin and to now? What was the first year you went to Medellin?
September 2022.
Okay. So you was about a year after I was out there. I believe I was in Thailand when you came out. Yeah, I might have been in Thailand by then. But what have you seen some major differences? Well, let me say this. What was your first impression of Medellin when you first touched down in 2022?
Honestly, it was the same impression. It's just I didn't say it the way I am now because I had only been to Rio. And so I was just looking at it like, oh, this place is great, but it's not Rio. Now I've been so many places, it's like, yeah, this is overhyped.
Now, when you say it's overhyped, are you saying you've been better places in South America?
Yeah.
Than Medellin?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me one of those cities.
Like I always say, I love Santiago, Chile. If somebody told me I'll buy you a one-way flight to Santiago, Chile, and you can never return to Medellin again, I would not lose any sleep, and I would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, and Chile is on I think it's the southern portion on the west side of South America, right? Is that all beach?
Yeah, it's the entire the entire border on the western portion of Chile is connected. You know, the Easter Islands is also part of Chile.
No, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I should have went there. I just found that out. I thought the Easter Islands was its own thing.
All right. I had a comment here by Anubis Badeo. Says Medellin has been bad since 2001. It just got even worse. Colombia is the cocaine capital of the world. Why you guys are even there? I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm a researcher. I'm a researcher. That's why I'm here. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be here. I came here to do the documentary.
Right. How's that going along, by the way?
So I thought they let me just say this. They were very disorganized with the whole thing. We were supposed to have several days we were recording. We only ended up recording one day. We had a bunch of other plans. All that stuff got canceled. It was very skeptical. I was very skeptical about a lot of things that I was seeing and other questions they were asking other characters, which I can't say yet. But some of the things that they were asking were kind of odd to the other people. Not so much to me. My questions seemed pretty softball question-like, but the questions that they were asking the other characters were very like, it seems like it's another objective behind this.
Yeah, man. Being very familiar with how media works and working in that industry for a while, I know that the log line for the video has to be, jump out at the person, right? So it's they're never going to tell you exactly what their intention is. Their intention is to get as much content and footage as well as the views. So it's always going to be people like negativity. especially the media, the news cycle media, anything type of news outlet, they're going to always generate more so with negativity than positivity. So I'm pretty sure they're going to skip over all the good things that Passport Bros are doing and kind of focus on the negative things. But that's just the way it is.
Well,
but
we'll see. Let me say two things to these people in the comments. Pariah, black people were not organizing. These are white people were shooting a documentary, not blacks. Number one.
Right.
Which is odd for white people to be disorganized. It usually is us that are disorganized. But for them to be disorganized, it was like, okay. And John Fawn or Pan or however you say it, if you want to say female beauty doesn't compare, look, dude. And
let me read it. Chile is interesting. Good for Austin. I will argue that spot will never blow up because the female beauty doesn't compare respectfully to the majority of men that travel. Okay. Now you've been out there. I mean, did it look pretty too good to you, or?
So let's compare this. Let's talk about where do men travel from the dudes that watch our type of content. We got the Philippines, Thailand, Sasua, Medellin, and Brazil. Those are the main places people travel to. You can go ahead and scratch Thailand and the Philippines off of. They're not competing with any South American country when it comes to beauty. So we're just going to stick to South America at this point. The women in Medellin, if you ask me personally, are not competing with the women in Santiago on a lot of, not even just beauty, but it's a lot of things that they're not competing with. And we can start about the safety issue. You don't have to worry about coming up missing from going on a fucking date with them. That's one thing you don't have to worry about in Santiago. Number two.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. So you talk about the safety. I skipped over that. How is it safer than Medellin or Colombia?
Yes, you could wear the only person I think that Santiago, Chile is unsafe for is a single woman.
Okay.
As an adult man of anywhere of any decent size and maybe over 5'8", you're not going to have too many issues.
Okay. So what would you say that the infrastructure is solid out there as well? Like the buildings look nice and the apartments, Airbnbs look good?
On every aspect is beating Medellin.
Wow, that's a lot to say, bro. That's a lot.
Except the cost. It is more expensive, but you're paying what you get for. You're not around women that are going to drug you. I mean, that happens worldwide, but they're not known for that in Santiago. Like they're known for that here in Medellin. And what a lot of people don't know, if you haven't been, you won't notice. There's so many foreigners from around South and Central America in Chile that you don't even know what Chilean women really look like. You have to ask because there's so many Haitians, so many Dominicans, so many Venezuelans there. And then you have Chileans.
Okay. So what led you to go to Santiago, Chile? Like what made you want to go there?
I want to go everywhere. I want to go as many places as possible so I can come to places like Medellin and tell you that it's overhyped.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, man. Is the Santiago have like a area or some type of district? I know you probably have it in your travel guide, but is there like a main hub where people go to out there?
I mean, just like in Colombia, they have a Provenza and near the W Hotel where I spent a lot of my time at, a lot of nice clubs and bars over there. But it's a very big city. I would often compare it to New York City because there's not really one main area that everybody's going to be at. Like you could be on the western side of town, the eastern, the southern or the north, and you can have just as much stuff to do. Now there is, the eastern portion is where most tourists spend their time, but you don't have to be there.
Okay. Now, what you was in? What was it, Paraguay?
Paraguay.
Okay, how was that?
So Paraguay is exactly what most people would tell you. Even Nomad Capitalist has been to Paraguay and Uruguay, and Uruguay is not as bad as Paraguay when it comes to this, but Paraguay is very, very boring. Like. The whole there's a reason why I didn't have any videos. The whole culture thing, and we over here, Floyd and I are over here looking at Comuna 13, and yeah, you can forget about that in Paraguay. There's 2
Right,
malls,
right.
maybe 3 malls that you go to. You can see the entire city in 2 or 3 days, and there's no museums that you're gonna. I want you to find a museum in Asuncion, Paraguay. I want you to find a museum. I want you to find some cable cars. I want you to find more than one street where there's clubs and bars. It is extremely boring, but it's good because when I'm in Paraguay, that's when I get my most consultations. That's when I'm able to do live streams for 10 hours. I can focus on being a content creator there.
Okay. Now I know we had a little conversation on the phone about like settling down because you've been traveling a lot lately. If you had to choose a city to settle down in, let's just say for 6 months, what city would you choose at this point?
I would go with Santiago still.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
So
a,
that's over Colombia, Brazil, all that. You choose Santiago.
Well, I'm not gonna say Colombia because I've heard you don't experience the full Colombia until you go to the other places like Barranquilla and Cali and Santa Marta. But I've only been to Medellin, so if I had to pick between Santiago and Medellin, no brainer, not even a second thought, instant decision, I would go with Santiago. Paraguay has its own
Okay.
benefits, but Santiago has the same things, and there's way more to do. And I'm not just because Paraguay can get a little super boring because you're literally going the same. Like there's nothing to do. Like you're going the same places, and then you go to the border towns, and those are like fucking narco states. They have other cities, but they're like ran by drug cartels.
Ah, okay. That's fast too. A lot of people don't really be knowing what these cities they be going to. They be
Yeah,
having no idea.
yeah. So Montevideo, Uruguay was a little busier than Santiago, but it's more expensive than Santiago. There's beautiful women in Uruguay, but not as much variety and not as many as Santiago. And Buenos Aires
Now,
just has a little. They have the energy there that you can.
okay.
I could deal with being there, but there's always an underlying energy of the whole racism thing that you can definitely feel while you're there. Yeah,
Okay.
something's off about that place.
Well, they kind of follow the guidelines of America. America did the same thing with the Vietnam War. They pretty much drafted all the black guys and put them on the front line. So that was what Argentina did to kind of whitewash their society to a certain degree because you had a lot of blacks in Argentina at one point. But
Yeah.
they drafted them and put them on the front line for war. Unfortunately, now speaking of that, have you seen like any pockets of Afro populations in these other cities?
There's now we want to talk about Asuncion, Paraguay. I've heard of it. I can tell you I've seen less than 20 black people since December in Asuncion. Yeah, that's we're not down there like that in Asuncion, Paraguay. Montevideo, I think the population of that city is like 13%. So you do see it. They don't have. I didn't see any pockets. They're spread out throughout the city. Like they're not as divided as some other places, like Brazil. But Argentina, no. I've heard that there's pockets. I couldn't find them. I didn't look for them either. Santiago, there's a lot of black people everywhere. Like I said, they have a lot of Dominicans, Haitians, and what's the other one I said? Dominicans, Haitians, and whatever the other one is. The third group of people that's down there. They're down there. So they're everywhere.
Okay.
And
So let me ask you this, man. If you saying pretty much like Medellin is kind of overly hyped. If you had to replace a city for the Passport Bros to kind of visit and vacate, what city would you choose?
what would I tell a first timer?
Yeah, we can go with the first timer. Yeah. Because I think when you're traveling kind of like on the dolo. So you're not really. I mean, I seen you hooked up with Jason, but you're not really hooking up with like a lot of different expats. You're kind of doing the dolo travel, right?
Yeah. Oh, the Venezuelan, that was the other group. I forgot Venezuelans are in Chile too. But
Okay.
I would go with for a first timer. First timers are probably gonna want to get a lot of action. So again, Medellin or Rio would probably be a best bet. I would go with Rio. Rio is safer than
Okay.
Medellin, in my opinion.
It is. It is. I will 100. That's one of the first things because I visited Rio in 2017. I went back, stayed there for like I think almost 9 months in 2022, something like that, 2022. And walk around at night on the beach. I remember the Uber dropped me off at the wrong location one time. I had to walk like damn near 10 miles to the crib and everything, and I didn't feel like a certain type of way walking at 2, 3 in the morning in Rio on the pretty much on I guess you would call it the boardwalk or whatnot. In
Yeah,
Copacabana, I would feel a certain type of way. Now, if I was in Medellin, 10 miles away from the crib, I'd be running to the crib.
yeah, yeah. No way.
you know, everybody says Brazil for the win. Brazil is dope, man. Do you have any plans of going back to Brazil?
Yeah, I'll be back. Like I actually want to go back soon, but man, I found so many places. I found so many
Right.
places, and there's so many places that I didn't get to finish exploring. Like I would go back to Santiago before I go back to Brazil right now.
Okay. So you've been all throughout, not all throughout, but you've been to a lot of places in South America. You was
Mhm.
in, I think it was Poland. You was in Eastern Europe for a moment. And
Poland,
of course,
Romania.
you've been over in Asia. If you had to kind of like choose what area, I know you said, well, 6 months you would choose Santiago, Chile, but outside of South America, would you choose Europe or Asia?
Hmm. I'd probably choose Asia because I would feel more comfortable around Asian people than all white people.
Let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about it. How was your experience in Poland, in Europe?
Uh, Poland and Romania, I would say I felt a little more prejudiceness in Poland, no matter what anybody says. They weren't there when I was there. I'm not saying those are
Mhm.
racist places, but it just the way I felt more comfortable in Romania than Poland. Way more comfortable. But is going through that kind of culture shock really worth it?
Mhm.
You know, I love diverse places. That's why places like Santiago are so
Mhm.
appealing. Uh, Paraguay is not really diverse,
Mhm.
but they're also not full-blooded white. So coming from a place where minorities get along better than you would with whites in the United States, I feel better around Asians in mass numbers. I'm not talking about white
Mhm.
people, but in mass numbers, I would say I feel better around other minorities than all white.
Right. That's interesting, man. Sometimes when I was in Cambodia and I think I watched the mall one time. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, bro. Let me catch this real quick. You can read the comments if you want to. Let me catch this real quick, bro.
Okay. Uh, Pariah 79 says Romanian chicks love brothers and it's cheaper there. I did get, I would say I got more attention in Romania, yes, than I did in Poland. Uh, yeah, I would agree with that. I had a better time in Romania than Poland, and it was cheaper. It was a lot cheaper in Romania than Poland. Flight Life said, Austin, like I had a bad time, you would have a bad time. Where?
All right, they're actually installing a new internet. I got.
Look like you frozen. They said, "Oh, he looks so happy." You don't know a place until you actually live there. Yeah, I mean, what made you say that? And some people are saying like, oh, blacks, Chile is totally racist. I'm from the Caribbean. Okay, I'm not from the Caribbean. The way how they would treat a black American versus a black Caribbean is completely different. You know, it doesn't really matter when we're talking about my life. The way how they treat a Caribbean, let's be honest, does not matter. Because what? Okay, that's like me reading a history book about slavery. Like, good to know. It's not gonna happen to me because that's why would it? So BMT said give him a few minutes. So I guess I'll just run the live stream in the meantime. Austin, do you talk to American women abroad? Yes, and I'm going live right after BMT's live, and I will be talking about some experiences I've had in Medellin and how it's reminded me, like, hey,
Sorry about that, bro.
States, what's going on?
Sorry about that. It came in, tried to fix the internet, but we rolling. We good.
You highlight this one comment. Brand G says, then how does your travel experience matter to us? Or how is it informational? Okay, is this a serious question? Here's my thing. I don't think most of my audience is in the Caribbean. Like, I think exactly what YouTube tells me, that they're in the United States. So if Chile is racist to Caribbean blacks, I'm telling you, the experience, it might be similar, because it might be similar. Won't be the same. When I rented my first apartment in Brazil, they didn't ask, all they asked for was my passport and deposit. Do you think a black Brazilian would have got that apartment in 5 minutes? That's why I'm saying the fact that we're from the United States makes a lot of shit different.
Oh, so somebody's saying that they're racist in Chile?
Well, they do have a racist here. I mean, pretty shit. All of the Americas has a racist history, even the Dominicans. But Argentina and Chile are known for that. Yeah. But I mean, again,
okay.
think about it, Brazil is racist. Colombia has racism. Venezuela has racism. In Uruguay they had slaves. Chile, Argentina had slaves. I mean, all this is racist. Mexicans are racist.
Now, speaking of that, man, Africa, bro, like your thoughts on using Kenya for a minute. I think you was in Kenya. Was that the longest place you kind of stayed so far since you've been overseas?
Yeah, Kenya I spent the most time in Kenya.
Okay, so how's that in comparison to everywhere else?
As far as racism, of course, since they're black, I mean, you don't really have to worry about that. The men are not envious, or I mean, there may always be that, but the men are not envious on a mass level of you talking to Kenyan women. There's a variety of women in Kenya. It's extremely cheap to be there. They have very fast internet. And out of the 7 African countries I went to, everything worked the most in Kenya.
Okay. Now I remember you were saying you would never go to one of those countries again. Which one was it? Was it Rwanda? You say you won't never really rock with that again?
Yeah, like maybe in the future, but man, like they're like, bruh, like that country was very inconvenient. Like a lot of, I mean, inconvenient finding women, inconvenient transportation, inconvenient scamming, inconvenient even if you want to go to a mall because they don't have one.
A lot of people say that's why I just choose just to be in Africa, so you have to deal with the racism. Now, have you had any? Have you had any? Because I haven't had any like verdantly racist incidents besides when white women trying to jump in front of me in Brazil or some shit. But other than that, I haven't really had any major incidents overseas with dealing with racism like that.
So, if we want to talk about a worldwide scale in Asia, we're gonna pretty much skip past that because I don't think I did. I kind of did in Eastern Europe. I've never had anybody just like it was confirmed, except in Argentina. Chile, I don't know. People say that Chileans are racist. I've seen it. It seems like they're more racist towards the other side. Like I have a video where it's Venezuelan women in Santiago, and I have them saying hello to the camera, and there's Chileans calling them cockroaches and like all these insults because they're from Venezuela. So I guess that I'm the black guy in the video. They didn't say nothing about me. I mean, at the same time, I'm not going to sleep thinking about this either. It's not on my mind. I didn't have any. Well, I did in Uruguay. They wouldn't let us in a club because we were black. A bunch of black dudes. They wouldn't let us in 2 times. So
in Uruguay, that's interesting. Okay,
but Uruguay has slaves too.
Now, is Uruguay the country they speak English in?
No, they speak Spanish.
Okay, I thought it was a country. Okay,
I know the country that speak English. I believe is what is it, Guyana and
it's like Guyana or something. Yeah. So they blatantly wouldn't let you guys in the club because you were black. Like,
they didn't say that.
Right.
They didn't say that, but I mean, it was 4 of us, and we just standing outside, and they letting everybody else in, and they was like, "I can't let y'all in," and they wouldn't tell us why.
Oh wow, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. And you mentioned like about in Asia, you didn't have any incidents whatsoever.
Not that I can remember, or I would have assumed because of my race. No.
So why so much in Poland? Did you go through any like direct conflict, or you just some of the energy you felt?
It was more so energy. I didn't have any like directly because I'm black. When white people are rude and you don't know why, we're gonna jump to racism immediately. If there's no obvious reason for them to have a bad demeanor, we're gonna be like, "Oh, he must be racist." So Floyd and I were getting on a bus to go back to Krakow from Warsaw, and the guy is nice to everybody, but then he looks at us and he's just a complete asshole for no reason.
Oh yeah.
So
let me ask you, which country was it where I think Floyd was trying to talk to a chick and she ran off on him? Which country?
That was Argentina.
Okay, that was Argentina.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Shout out to Floyd, man. You wasn't there, but I know he did a video about it. Like he said, he tried to talk to a chick and she ran off on him.
Yeah, I never came to any experience close to that. I don't know why that happened to him. That is very crazy for somebody to take off running. That's very crazy. But I mean, I didn't experience that, but I'm not down there. I'm not gonna say I don't think Floyd's just getting online lying about that either.
Now, do you think that because Kenya doesn't have a language barrier, you probably felt a little more comfortable there than these other countries?
Well, 2 reasons you feel more comfortable in Kenya. Is number 1, because I'm black and everybody else there looks alike. They look similar to me.
Okay.
And they speak English. You can go to England, and I don't think if you go into a room of all white English people that you will have the same experience if you go to an all black Kenyan English speaking room. I don't think you'll be able to relate the same. So no matter what people say, race plays a big part. I have the ability to adapt anywhere. I can fit in. Well, I can't fit in, but I can behave accordingly anywhere and just be fine. But everybody doesn't have that ability. So if you don't have the ability, you need to go where people look like you.
So when you was connecting with, 'cause I saw you was going, doing your dating thing in Kenya. Is it any type of hiccups with you being Black American and dating the Kenyan women there? Like when you maybe meet their parents or something, like they wanted them to date, traditional Kenyan men, or they don't mind. It's all more of a we all Afro type of thing.
I never really, no, I never felt like I was being. I never even heard the fact that they brought up like I was from America in Kenya. Like it didn't seem.
Okay.
It literally seems like you're just another one of them. I mean, it's no big. I mean, yeah, at some point they'll say, "Oh, he's from the States," but it's not like that's going to be the main focus. It feels like.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Somebody said Floyd needs a makeover. I would turn you. Shout out to Floyd, man. Floyd's in Medellin right now with you, right?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
He's talking about staying a lot longer, but on my live stream tonight, I'm going to talk about. I'm ready to go Monday. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice city. I'm not having a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to experience the real Colombia around fewer Americans.
Right. And then when you in Medellin, you gotta really move a little differently. Like you can never really just drop your guard like that and relax like you would want to. That's one of the big things, man. I think I saw you do a short when you was in a taxi and they dropped y'all off somewhere in the woods or something like that.
Oh no, I made that look like that.
Okay.
We're pushing the taxi up, and I just made it look like he left us to see if I would get some views on that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And do you have any plans on going back to Thailand and Pattaya and all that?
Yeah, I go back to Thailand. Thailand's a place I enjoy going back to. I like Vietnam more than Thailand, but I don't think I'm rushing to get there. I'm not really rushing to get to Asia at all.
Yeah, man. It's Thailand is a very easy and laid back country to adjust to. It really is.
Yeah.
You don't have a care in the world. And I love the fact that brothers have been opening up businesses there as well. To me, that's very dope. I mean, you got brothers to open up businesses in the DR. That's heavy. And you got some businesses out there in Medellin as well, in Colombia, a few restaurants in Brazil, but nothing like that pocket of businesses that are actually out there in Thailand and Pattaya. Cool. Very dope.
Well, I've been doing some, and this is why I've traveled to other places. I'm not trying to downplay Thailand or nothing, but I've been doing research on places like Chile. And as a foreigner, you can literally own land and own property, 100% of the rights, just like a regular Chilean. I know you can't do that in Thailand.
Fact, and that's one of the things. I don't think you do that really in any Asian country like that. I think maybe some might be, you can kind of get in there, but for the most part, like in South American countries, you can actually purchase land and get your citizenship and all that.
Yeah. Each continent and each country has its own benefits, but South America and Africa are pretty much my calling. In specific, South America, but I'm gonna live in at least 3 places.
Okay. So kind of like similar to what I like to do, like just be in different countries throughout the year.
Yeah.
Right. I gotta come here. Bro, you are a Black American in South America. You're a tourist. You will get robbed, deleted, scammed once you're in the wrong place, alone, without knowing someone. Colombia is the cocaine capital of the world.
I mean, okay. I mean, if that's how you feel that way. I mean, I've been scammed. I've done videos, I've done videos about being scammed. Big deal.
Where did you scam at?
Chile.
Oh, wow. What happened?
Within the first hour.
I didn't see that video, man. What give us a rundown?
So and this is like, thank God for eSIMs, because the eSIM would have prevented all this. They have Uber in Chile, but I think Uber, and they may have something. I think they have Cabify as well. And my phone didn't have service. The airport didn't have Wi-Fi, so I was forced to take a taxi. These two guys, they said, "Hey, you buy a ride and you can pay a little extra and get this SIM card with unlimited data." And I was like, oh, I love Chile already because not if you I don't know if you know most of these South American countries, you're not as a tourist, you're not getting no unlimited data plan. Looks like you froze. Okay.
Right, I think we back. There you go.
Yeah. No, in South America, you're really not getting no unlimited data plan. Like that's just not gonna happen. But in Chile, they had that option. So I was like, okay, I love that already. Anyway, they took me to the house. When I got out the car, the driver stayed in the car, and the other guy that came with him helped me get my bags out and got out the card machine. We went through, long story short, we went through several cards, and I'm like, there's no way in hell none of my cards. We tried 4 or 5 different cards. There's no way in hell none of my cards are not working. I'm gonna address this comment here in a minute. There's no way none of mine are not working. And
All right. Yes, I'm from.
whenever he did, I tried one of my cards that I keep a few $1,000s on, but not all my money is on this one card. So I gave it to him, and that one went through. I was like, yeah, let me see the receipt. Jumps in the car, speeds off. So immediately I was like, that motherfucker must have overcharged me. So long story short, I looked at my bank account, and he charged me $500 for that ride. $550 when we had agreed on $50. But somebody in the comments left ASL said, "What the fuck is he talking about? I have a 30-day unlimited plan in Medellin." Okay. I mean, that's good, but I was saying most South American countries, you're not getting that. Like in Brazil, you couldn't get that. Like in Paraguay, I've been with every cell phone company in Paraguay. You're not getting that as a tourist. As a tourist, remember what I said as a tourist. You know, the motherfucker that gets off the airplane, you're not getting that. In Uruguay, you're damn sure not getting that. Because I knew dudes that had been out there for a year and they still was paying for data. The locals were still paying for data every day in the gas station. Argentina, you wasn't getting that. At least I didn't see it. Now you could buy a large amount of data where it would feel like it was unlimited, but you wouldn't get no unlimited.
All right, Austin.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. You there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
All